Great, welcome. Today, this is a Saturday strategy session on Harmonic Trader for Gold members. We talk about specific harmonic pattern strategies. For January here, we meet the last Saturday, 12 p.m. Had a little problem today, but appreciate everyone being patient with me. And we're going to get into this HOP concept, harmonic optimal price level, this optimal price for execution, where we're looking at an additional structural measurement to help us give that make or break tolerance, that absolute limit, because we know that the patterns give us that minimum kind of zone concept of how far any market can move. Now, this is a new harmonic measurement strategy, really kind of officially releasing it here. We are rolling it out on all the harmonic pattern collection platforms, and I will give everybody information about that, where to get set up with that at the end of the presentation. On Harmonic Pattern Collection. Just go to harmonicpatterncollection.com and everything that you need just to download, get the new downloads and everything. But it's really about bringing the clarification of the make or break harmonic limits when we're assessing live market behavior within the harmonic pattern framework, and that's everything. Here's a trade from Friday. I was just mentioning this is something towards the close on Friday. Friday was a phenomenal day, incredible action. Up big in the morning and down big by the close. Now we had an ideal zone, and again, a lot of what we'll be utilizing the hop for. Initially, what I'm going to recommend is everyone look at crab patterns. But we see even in this zone where the ideal move on harmonic patterns is not kind of I think it's a bit of a misnomer where people believe harmonic patterns reverse on an instant price point and give you a home run move. And that's actually nothing to be further from the truth. It's more of a extended consolidation. We have a reaction reversal format where there's a sequence of a initial test and a retest before we can see even a larger move that's involved. And that's why we look at the harmonic optimal price make or break limit. Now it replaces stop with hop because we're really trying to optimize the make or break. The stop is something, another consideration. Where do we put the stop loss relative to now we have this hop? Get into that a little bit later. In this presentation, we've talked about how to look at that in some of the recent sessions, and we will do more of that. But what I want to assess is what the real live market action beyond the ideal zones to maximize entries, executions, or even know when to avoid a trade altogether based off of a pattern that is failing. Now, the hop level relates to how that individual action unfolds in the zone. And we want to look at that after the terminal bar has completed. So after the pattern has completed. Probably the most important aspect of the hop principle and of the entire harmonic pattern framework is that they really depend upon the type 1 and type 2 reaction reversal framework. I always recommend and say that most patterns are going to give you 2 opportunities at a minimum. You'll get a quick reaction in most cases, scalpable, especially if you're a day trader, or you get something that's a retest. Now, the initial test of most zones, pattern zones, and the definition of that per terminal price bar really depends on the pattern, where the zone completes, and what the price action is into that zone. But it is, again, we're looking for our ideal entries after the pattern completes, not at the pattern completion point. This is where we assess confirmation factors and look at the price action in the PRZ. I've talked a lot about this, especially that price action in the zone. Now we can look at specific concepts. We can use the hop. We can use the PRZ with the hop to define that maximum structural tolerance for price action unto itself. So when the price enters the zone, how much beyond that level can we give it? We also can locate our indicator confirmation strategies, but these occur after the terminal bar completes, after pattern completion. And then finally, something I've talked a lot about is a 30 bar limit, especially on the first test where there's a basic standard 30 bars. After the pattern completes, we start counting 30 bars to the right of that completion. Tell me what's happening. Now here's a deep crab from Friday on a 1 minute NASDAQ in the last hour of trading. One of the things that I've actually focused a lot on is mentioning why crab patterns go beyond their 1.618 extension. It's not a surprise. And in a lot of cases I've been talking about, and I've done videos where crab patterns that go well beyond the 1.618, but our ideal executions are more like a 1.902. That's where the hop level really originated from, was utilizing that extra level. In this case for the crab, looking at a 1.902 additional extension in situations where one, the price action is strong, or two, the confirmation is lacking. And so in this instance, really ideal. And it's when we look at these situations, we come down to a series of questions. If we understand patterns, and there's a lot of assumptions, so if you don't understand the pattern basics, please review the videos that are available. If you don't know what terminal bar is, or type 1 or type 2, again, take a look at the videos that understand that yes, there's specific patterns, we have to learn those rules, but then we understand also how patterns unfold. And so that's why we look at what the nature of the price action is in the PRZ after the terminal bar, after the pattern's completed, because we understand the differences of patterns. Now we understand, actually, really, is it the first time a pattern completes? Then it's we expect a reaction. If it's a retest of that level, we could have a higher chance of a larger reversal. That's the type 1, type 2 framework, but we have to look at the hop level relative to this. And then does the indicator confirmation come in to trigger at the hop? How far beyond the PRZ do we go? In this deep crab pattern, okay, our expectation minimum level is a 1.618, but we're not surprised to see it go beyond it. In a lot of cases, as I've said before, the 1.902 is a number that I have specifically featured that is specific to the deep crab. Now, the important thing is looking where confirmation comes in. And one of the strategies that we've talked about with patterns lately has been our harmonic strength index. There is a harmonic strength index checkback, HSI checkback video on the harmonictrader.com blog. And I strongly recommend everyone reviews it, because it shows us the details of essentially how to utilize that as a trigger in the zone. We're looking for the completion of the terminal bar always, because the opportunity is to the right of that pattern. Now we look for HSI trigger. That's one of a few different things that we look at. We will look at RSI and RSI BAM. I won't talk about them here today. We'll also look at amplified RSI in our live sessions. We do that. But this simple HSI technique is probably the easiest, and I think with the hop level, especially on the retest, the type 2 retest in most cases, is a mandatory requirement for the execution of that retest opportunity. Now it looks like this, and you're going to see it on your harmonic pattern collection chart, where it generates the arrow, and it will generate the arrow on the close of the bar. So you'll get the arrow and you'll get the signal where the bar will typically close here. And again, this is where it checks back and retests the extreme high of that bar. So we look for pattern completion here at terminal bar. There's HSI. Now we're looking for the opportunity to the right. Is it always going to be perfect, dead on? No, but that is the sequence of pattern completion, indicator confirmation, If it's harmonic indicator confirmation or RSI confirmation, that's the strategy. Because we know that the biggest pattern reversals are going to require at least a few bars after the pattern completes. Here is S&P 500 from Friday at the close. Same situation. In this case, this was a regular crab pattern. Now, again, we look for pattern completion. Where is the pattern completion? This is a regular crab. So, okay, down at the 1618 or just past it, in this case, 3286. It's a place to start looking. But where's the confirmation and relative to the hop? Because this is strong action. With the hop level, again, down just past that 1902, all right, we throw that additional tolerance in there. Now, there's a few different things. We'll look at this chart in a second, but there's some things that we can highlight where here is the vertical zone line bar. That's where the pattern starts. We start looking for the opportunity to the right of that bar. And again, because this is the first time it completes, we're anticipating a target one move. I'm not going to get into type 1, type 2 here in this discussion. There's videos that I have on type 1, type 2 patterns. But because it's the first time it completes, we expect and target this type 1 level at 32.9375. It's really 64 to be exact, but we use 75. That sets up where if we're looking down here at 86, and we know that in a very severe action, and the market was down over 1%, did actually a 1.5% reversal on Friday. That kind of extreme action with a crab pattern, not surprised to see it overrun the 1618. But here is where the confirmation comes in. So look, pattern completes, but we know, and our expectation is that the best reversals, largest reversals, are going to require several bars of consolidation. And we see our confirmation down here. Actually, your first clue is you get rejected. Actually, the hop level comes right in and acts like a floor. But we would look for then HSI and the check back. That's our ideal condition. This has been the number one kind of confirmation method that I've been featuring over the last many months, and now feel like we've really solidified the rules that this is the sequence that we look for in our best means of confirmation, because then we know where do we place the stop limit. Well, if we understand this is the hop and we have confirmation, then this should be the floor. Now, we do not see in the best of instances where there's any check back that takes out the prior lows. So under the hop level by a 0.6 ticks, 32.7950, 32.79 and a quarter, when we're looking to enter at 32.82. And I'm not just saying this is a well-chosen example. When you break down the zone, that's really our job in every pattern. It's just that I really want everyone to focus on deep crab patterns and crab patterns in particular. We want to look for capitalizing on the overextended nature of the 1.618 and what that means in the market. Typically, it means some kind of counter trend reaction as long as we can get some indicator confirmation. With the hop level, that solidifies it. Now, here's the instance where something else where we could see a few extra things with a few other indicators, where we have triple confirmation at these lows, right at the hop level. Look, RSI, amplified RSI, and harmonic strength index all triggered oversold simultaneously, and the market responded. So even in that instance, after that extended decline, a type 1 recovery rebound here in the ballpark of looking in that 32.82 area where the confirmation did trigger for a minimum move up to 32.94. That's how we would look at it. And again, look at the target 1, target 2. It actually went to target 2 on that instance. we probably would have cleared out because our counter HSI signal between target 1, target 2, it was up at around 96. Probably right there would have been our ideal exit. Again, I'm not want to get into the type 1, type 2 framework today. I just want to look at the hop level, how to look at the hop with the crab pattern and the confirmation. Really important to look at that. And then as we go along, we will add additional confirmation techniques that stand out. I mean, a triple confirmation right at that point is something that would stand out. If we had an RSI BAM completion, that would stand out. But from the framework perspective of a make or break hop level, that is it. Now, the stop assessment becomes a little more subjective, but once we do have all the elements of confirmation, the check back, a clear stabilization, we know this is it. And so stops can be placed in this area. We're executing between the PRZ and hop level, but placing stops underneath there because we know we have confirmation. So there's a few other even longer term situations we can look at currently. We have looked at gold, and we'll review more of that this week. But the hop adds that make or break structural measurement relative to the terminal bar to gauge the tolerance of action beyond the PRZ for optimal execution. We're trying to reduce the drawdown. We're trying to reduce and be in that point of the trade where the reversal is already confirmed and completed. Now we're looking for the counter trend move. Again, have to assess this all within the type 1, type 2 framework. So if you're not clear on type 1, type 2, please look at the video, review it in the library, and understand what the harmonic pattern framework, you have to understand what target 1, target 2 means. More importantly, we have to understand where in that PRZ the opportunity truly lies. So we have to include some kind of indicator confirmation. As I was showing HSI in today, we can look at other situations, but we have to have some kind of indicator confirmation in those zones. And at the hop level of that last example I was just showing, that was perfect. Now, I have gone through this for probably the better part of almost 8 months now of extensive research and classification of what I think is really standing out. Deep crab patterns are absolutely working with the hop and the HSI confirmation. I'll go back, show the platform again, Harmonic Pattern Collection, but I feel that what the automated algorithms are generating, the ABCDs with the confirmation that pop up, the auto ABCDs, you're not going to get an ABCD in every instance, but the ones that are with confirmation are giving us excellent type 1 opportunities. And then the BAT patterns, we're seeing them in particular on the type 2 retests. They seem to love to go above the 886 and then go. Finally, to a lesser extent, the type 1 shark patterns, they're working quite well, and we'll check out a few of them. We want to go to Harmonic Pattern Collection. Also, we'll be rolling it out for our on our Thinkorswim platform. So we want to go to Fun with ThinkScript for the Harmonic Pattern Collection as well, and that's for the TOS TD Ameritrade. We just released that, and we're going to be rolling out that update on this one as well. So do check this out, because that's we brought that harmonic pattern scanner into this entire the Thinkorswim platform. So that is on the funwiththinkscript.com website. So check that out. Now here's something, again, let's go back to the charts really quick from Friday. This is the actual chart from on the 1 minute basis. Okay, and that's on an NQ. But let's look at one or two longer term opportunities. And I think I want to go to gold and show that on a weekly, because it's the same dynamic unfolding in this case for gold, there you go. Let that load up. It's the same, shows the same sequence. It's just over the course of many months on the weekly chart. We see on intraday on a 233 tick or a 1 minute chart, that's going to move a lot faster. And again, Friday's action was remarkable. Friday's action, even in the S&P moving 8 or 10 points in a pretty short period of time is a heck of a way to capitalize on the framework pretty quickly. That's a great active day. I give this a second. This is still loading. I don't know why that's still loading. While the chart's still loading, I don't know what's going on there. I do want to show the monitor screen where you can now search and look at the hop level for those patterns that are at their respective hop. Again, the best way to do that is select the number of bars. That will sort it out and you'll see, oh, okay, the last pattern, closest one that's to the hop, ES. It's a 60-minute chart, but that'll tell you where you are relative to that last, where the pattern's completed. Let me see if I can get open up a new chart. I don't know if it's running kind of slow here. Go to the 4 hour. Here's the 4 hour chart. Go to the 60. Here's the 60. There's a butterfly right there. And here's something to actually look for right in the beginning of the week. This will be good for our discussion on Monday. Gold's actually been doing remarkably well, came right off its hop level at 1580 on the weekly. But here's a 60-minute pattern. And let me get the time. Let me bring back HSI. There you go. And here's a great example of looking at butterfly pattern. And I was just saying butterfly is one of the featured patterns on the first test that we would want to see confirmation and hit the hop level. So this is ideal type 1 material. Let's bring in how to look at this with the vertical zone line bar. And now break down the whole pattern. So this would be good for this week. How do we read this? How do we know? Are we going to execute? Should we have executed already right here at the terminal bar at 1575, or does the larger opportunity require more time? If you were, and I think a lot of people tend to try to execute right at this point and look for the move down and get frustrated because what happens is it goes through, in most cases, a bit of a consolidation before the larger move unfolds. And this hop level for this butterfly right here is, I think, a great case. Now, do we have confirmation in HSI or even standard RSI? Here, RSI is at the extreme and it's overbought, but we look at it after it's come out of the zone, which it has. Now, here's HSI, and this is that same sequence where, okay, HSI is about to come out of the zone. Our other indicator, amplified, has yet to come out of the zone, but that is triple confirmation in the works. And we would favor that up closer towards this hop level, which is at 1578, versus looking at that at 1575. That's about $3, almost $3.50 difference in terms of where our entry for the position off the pattern is. Now the confirmation is telling us to wait anyway. Again, another situation where the indicator, the lack of indicator confirmation is essentially buying you more time. It's telling you wait. It's telling you this larger reversal is going to unfold in more like 6 to 8 bars instead of 1 to 3 bars. And until we see a pink arrow maybe pop up somewhere right there based off of HSI coming out of the zone, that's where the larger opportunity sits. It's really important. The final piece of this, understanding this is the first time it completed, and so our minimum expected objective is target 1 down at 1564. So we'd rather wait for that confirmation. There's been about it's been about $4 pullback off of that initial test. If you're a scalp trader, sure, that's not a bad move. But the larger opportunity that we're looking for and the confirmation associated with it is coming in here closer to that 1578, where the trade opportunity is more about 14 points. It's more of a $14 opportunity based on this confirmation, based off where the hop level is, understanding where target 1 is, and knowing that the confirmation has not even occurred. So we don't even anticipate the larger move until that completes, and that's going to be probably Sunday night into Monday. But a lot going on there, and I think I will get into more of this week. But this hop level is something that I'm just not throwing out another bell or whistle. I think those that have been following along with what I do know that this hop level has really been giving us just phenomenal kind of additional framework entries. Here's another one on the 5-minute. This one caught my eye earlier. Again, understanding where the confirmation comes in. This is a regular crab, so we look, there's the first reaction right off the 1618. There's the type 1 move. Come back for the type 2. Doesn't violate the hop level and gives you stabilization. Was there confirmation? No. There was a check back from this prior check back. But within the 1-2 framework and understanding that, okay, if it overruns the pattern zone, that's okay. If it overruns the hop within a couple price bars, that's not okay. That's where then our stop loss assessments really come into play. That's not okay. This is okay. And for the retest opportunity, you really want those home run moves? They're coming on the retest. That's where it's really happening, folks. And with the crab pattern and the hop level, we can really pinpoint these entries unlike before. So get with that. First, let me go to harmonictrader.com and go on the blog for those videos I mentioned. And I will be including this presentation as well, and get the HSI check back video. That's really important. Check all the videos, but the HSI check back is really a critical video if you're not familiar with that. also the type 1 and type 2. Everything is on that blog. So check that blog. And then finally, go over to Harmonic Pattern Collection. And you can get with our partner at sr-analyst.com. Get updated here. All of the updates are now ready. We are working, except for the Thinkorswim product at Fun with ThinkScripts. We should have that up probably next week, but that's the scanner. So all of that is available on Harmonic Pattern Collection. But we will follow up a lot more on this, and if folks have questions, put them in the box, put them in the comment section, or send me an email at harmonictrader@harmonictrader.com. And again, guys, I'm really happy to bring this kind of adept knowledge of really getting the most out of the patterns to turn the patterns into optimized opportunities. You really understand what's happening, what needs to happen, and maximizing the framework. It is all about the measurement framework, understanding that framework, and now with this hop level, I think we really did it. So more on that. We'll get back on it Monday in our gold member session. Thanks again for showing up today, everybody. And again, we will see you next week. Reach out to me at harmonictrader@harmonictrader.com with any questions. Take care. Go get them.